Hi, this is Steve for TrueHollywoodTalk.com. I'm here with Marcy Kaplan about her wonderful film, The Prenup, and I kind of like that title. We want to find out what really went down on this. Welcome to True Hollywood Talk.
Hi.
See, she was really pleasant and really quiet. Now let's get into the gory details. So the guy slapped you around. I just want to know, what happened, all right? Give us the truth, all right? We don't hold anything back here in True Hollywood Talk. If there was sex involved, drugs, I don't care. Get it all out.
Well, all of those things were involved, but they're not in the movie. I wrote this film based on my own true story of having gotten engaged to the man I love, who then presented me with a 102-page prenuptial agreement. And at the time, it wasn't very funny, but the film is a comedy. Very funny movie, not funny in real life. I knew that he had gone through a bad divorce. I knew that there probably would be a prenup, but not 102 pages. And the movie's about what happens when the lawyers get involved and try to basically, in essence, rack up dollars to ruin your life and stop the wedding from happening. But I knew at the time when it was happening that it would make a good film. I took a lot of notes. I cried every day. It was horrible. It was brutal. It was horrible. But I knew it would make a funny movie. So after I got past it and we had a couple of kids, I went and wrote the film.
For 102 pages, I hope he was rich and good looking and he could go all night. I just want to know, what really went down. For 102 pages, who is he, Superman? What the hell's going on in 102 pages?
A, yes. B, yes. C, ebbs and flows.
Kind of like the way that came out anyway, okay? And we don't edit anything on TrueHollywoodTalk.com, but I just like the whole idea about the prenup, which is something that people toss out. What was the funniest thing in the prenup, and what was the craziest thing in the prenup?
Look, at 102 pages, he didn't even know everything that was in the film. He basically said to his lawyer, I want you to protect me as best you can. So while I was planning my wedding, I was also negotiating my divorce. That's what my days were like. I'd talk about bridesmaids' dresses and what kind of flowers, and then I'd go sit with a lawyer and negotiate spousal support and alimony. And I'd come home crying hysterically about a passage that, for example, would say if the marriage of Marcy and Eric should dissolute, Marcy would have 11 days to evacuate the premises and $4,000 in moving costs. And it basically was filled with a bunch of horrible, offensive crap like that he didn't even know was in there. So eventually I got to the bottom of it, which was that he just wanted to feel safe the second time around, did not want to get everything taken away like the first time around. But half my friends were in a camp that said, don't marry this guy. What are you, fucking crazy? And the
I'm going to ask you this question. This is something your mother might have asked. How'd you fall in love with this guy? This guy sounds a little bit, 102 pages. That's what I'm trying to figure out, were you going through a bad time in your life? You were hitting the bottle? What the hell was going down for you to come on, 102 pages? I can't even think of what you could put in 102 pages.
Oh, so much.
But she made a movie out of it. She's got a book deal. She's going to get famous. How bad was the damn thing?
No, it was all good. And he happens to be incredibly kind and funny as all, and charming and sweet and loving and a great dad to our 4-year-old twins. And I knew that's who he was, underneath all the fear of having someone take him to the cleaners for a second time.
How long were you married to this guy?
So far, 5.5 years.
And I don't want to give away the ending, but what's been the response to the movie, and what is the sequel to The Prenup?
Okay. The response is great because I think it's a very hot topic right now because in today's day and age, you basically, if you have a house, you need a prenup. If you have any kind of assets, you need a prenup, especially if you live in California. If you were to get divorced in the state, they don't care what you say or what your wife says. They're going to take a magic marker. They're going to draw a line down the middle of everything that was earned, and you're going to get half, and she's going to get half. And it's almost stupid to not have a prenup when you get married today. Now, having said that, it's so unromantic. It's so brutal. It's so saying, let's protect ourselves from the end before we even begin. But it's a catch-22 because I know women who've had to sell their homes to pay the men half. You gotta be, careful.
Well, this is LA. At least you're good looking. I mean, if we had a prenup about an unattractive woman and it was 100 pages, I'm not sure I want to watch that movie, okay? So you're good looking and you're kind of hot, okay? So just tell me right now, what's the dating like now? Do you actually have your prenup? Or what happens when you meet a cute guy? You're like, I was that girl. They had that movie. It was a 100-page prenup. I don't have sex now unless I have my prenup. And what's going on with you now?
I love my husband. It's boring, but it's true.
Do we actually believe that in LA, that people actually love their husbands? Is that possible? What planet are you from, please?
Possible.
Kind of like this lady. Okay. You want to be a filmmaker? Like, what's your future besides being a wonderful mother? What do you want to do in life? And how this experience kind of change you? And we're getting the truth out here on TrueHollywoodTalk.com. That's what we do, okay?
The writing of this film led to another writing job. I am now writing a movie for Universal called Replacing the Nanny, about my having to replace my nanny after I went back to work with 5 weeks' notice. And you can't work and not have a nanny. And having nannies is a whole big can of worms you're going to open up. Some stranger who's essentially taking your place as mommy. It's a hairy...
So you didn't hire any hot-looking nannies?
No hot-looking nannies. Don't want the husband chasing the nanny.
So, like, if they came to the door and they were one of those little California beach bunnies, you know that scene in Godfather when he's told, when Diane Keaton said to him, "It was an abortion, Michael," and then he just closes the door on her? So if that good-looking, little, cute 17-year-old girl from Holland comes and she can't wait to take care of her kids, you just close that door. So are we having a clothing line? What else is coming?
That's it. I'm writing a movie. It's exciting. I'm happy. This led to that, but I will make the prenup feature. That will be next.
Well, one thing I've learned, this girl holds her ground. You can't push her around, even on True Hollywood Talk. We couldn't get any of the details about the sex, the drugs, the affairs. None of that stuff came out. She stayed true. And what's the future hold for you, my dear? And I want to thank you for coming on True Hollywood Talk. You're quite lovely.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you for having me, and I hope all good things. And the prenup is null and void, by the way. Had kids, null and void. It's all good.
She's kind of cute. You got a twin sister? I might be interested, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.